Hey guys, how's it going? So, normally I try to avoid making videos like this because I know that a lot of people want to watch some of my other content, but I really feel like I had to make this video to kind of really talk about something that really, it has gotten attention to. People are really talking about it, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. People have been talking about World of Warcraft lately. As a game, it just sort of has been through so much. I mean, when it first came out, it was like the biggest thing, and it made gaming history, and then like millions upon millions play it, and they still do, but just not as close as it once was. And then all the other expansions came out, and then right around Wrath, it just kind of had a downhill slide from there. And now it's just sort of not the really it's not as big of a game as it once was. So that's why I actually wanted to let you guys know something. Recently, there was somebody who had made a video, and I forgot the person's name, but was talking to the people at Blizzard about creating legacy servers, and I'm gonna put it on the video here, so you can go to that video. I think Soda Poppin had done something like that, and I kind of wanted to talk about it too, because World of Warcraft, believe it or not, is a very important game in just history in general. I would even go as far as to say more than Call of Duty, League of Legends at one point. I mean, League is a huge game now, but just World of Warcraft was the game that you needed to come to. This is where gamers alike from all different places, from everywhere, just came together and started playing. And, it was one of the biggest things ever created. It was just such a huge deal because of the storytelling, the difficulty, how alive and open the world was. But now you look at it nowadays, and, for the most part, WoD had something like that, but it's not the same. I remember at one point that WoD was gonna change everything. It's gonna make everything great again, and it just didn't. It didn't at all. I mean, it's just there, and it's boring now. You just stay at your garrison. You do everything in your garrison. So I kind of wanted to talk about it. It's like, what happened? Like, what happened with Blizzard's World of Warcraft game that made it so that it's just no longer a really decent game? I mean, it's still fun in the sense that maybe perhaps you just kind of want to limit yourself, but then there you go. You want to limit yourself now. I mean, things are not as challenging or as open-ended and that sort of thing. So let me explain World of Warcraft Vanilla, which is like the first game that ever came out, just being World of Warcraft. So let me explain that. I came in as a player around in sort of the end of Vanilla. This is when BC was announced, early on in its development. And I got to play World of Warcraft, and I'm telling you what, never have I had an experience leveling up before. From 1 to 60. It was literally a huge process to get to 60. It was phenomenal. I mean, you were probably like level 40 for like at least 2 months if you're just playing on and off. Even the most dedicated gamers could not get to 60 for a while. It was a really challenging thing, but that's what made the game so real. It's just the difference between you and the casuals. It was great. And then when you got to 60, you got to do these epic raids. And in the video right now, you see me flying. Actually, I'm flying to Encourage because recently Hearthstone made a card of Cthulhu, and then I just kind of was hitting it with nostalgia because by the time Old Gods came out, people started talking about old World of Warcraft. So I said, just for old time's sake, I want to go see Cthulhu again. Don't ask me why, I just did. But anyway, getting back on track here. So World of Warcraft Vanilla was the greatest, man. I remember the time that used to be able to come into Alterac Valley, and that shit took forever. It took hours, days even. I have heard stories where that PvP battle could actually go on for days. That was amazing. Are you kidding me? That was so good. And then you got to complete the objectives, and then you fought for that mid-giant. Like, there was a person, like a giant in the middle that you got to fight for, or something like that. You kill it and it pushes with you, and then it was just this back and forth bloody slaughter. It was so great, but now it's just sort of this rush first, and queues are not the same anymore. I was playing on my 97 Warlock, and I'm just kind of questing and grinding. I didn't even bother with the gear that you get, the heirlooms, because I just wanted to play it normally. And I went into a queue just for a dungeon. And do you guys want to know how long it took me to get there? 38 minutes. Let's think about it for a second. Jesus Christ, 38 minutes. PvP is 8 minutes, dude. I remember back in Vanilla WoW, there was no such thing. You clicked on that queue but that was PvP queue. You needed to actually collaborate with people. You need to actually talk to people. Hey, let's go run Uldum or something. We needed to actually talk to people in trade chat or looking for group. That's what it was. And I guess that it's okay with the group finder and clicking it, but there was something about the looking for group that just kind of made it more personal. It was a quest. It was something that you needed to talk to people. You needed to go to guild. Now you don't. You just hit button and you're queued up, and it's great, I guess, but like, the more you think about it, there was sort of an importance to being able to talk to folks to achieve one goal. There was a sense of community, but then it was also a sense of, you know, conquering together. Let us conquer this land and this dungeon and raid together as a group, as a server, because when one server completed a raid first, it was the hugest deal. I mean, my God, like being able to raid and we're the first guild to take it down, and then everybody just lost it. But now it's just kind of like, oh, whatever, because people transfer, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you get what I'm saying? Like, there was a purpose to what you did in Vanilla WoW. And then when BC came out, oh my God, everybody just went absolutely apeshit. It was a whole new land. It was just as hard. And then, you know, you had the heroic mode, which was really, like, you took Vanilla's WoW current difficulty and you amplified it because not everybody can do heroic. So it kept the normal difficulty of things, except this time it really pushed the limits. It challenged you. It was great. I think up until Wrath, things were great, but I never played Cataclysm, so from what I hear with Cataclysm, things just kind of went to shit. You know, and I really feel like that's something kind of sad, actually, because for people that played World of Warcraft, for all my brothers and sisters out there that played World of Warcraft, you have to know that this game has changed the way we see gaming in general, what we expect, what we want. We want a good story, and it had it. You got to Encourage. You had 40 people. We don't have 40-man raids anymore. What the fuck? Why? Why don't we have that? That was, like, epic, and you could technically, I guess, have that, but it was a requirement. It wasn't this flexible bullshit. You had to have 40 people. Class-specific, all that. Now it's just whatever. Everybody starts to blend to be the same. There's no personality. Let me explain that. So when you went to a dungeon, you needed a rogue. You needed warlocks. You needed class-specific things. Now it's just, fuck, man, I could take like 10 mages, and I wouldn't even notice a difference. Because not every single class feels the same. It feels like the same DPS, but not the type of DPS. You had natural resistances, but I'm getting off track. But I guess my point, what I'm trying to say is that WoW just kind of feels dumbed down now to just such a simplicity. And I get it. It's really hard to build on this game to something higher and greater. And I agree, man, I do. I sincerely do agree that trying to improve this game when it's just so flawless is a hard thing, because you have the storytelling to worry about. How are you gonna improve the gameplay? And it's just, I don't know. I have no idea. So knowing that that's what's going on, it's just, yeah, people started leaving. There's nothing to it. There's no substance. Oh, we killed Deathwing? What more is there? And it's just, we went to Mista Pandaria, and then people were really weirded out by that. It just felt like the world was kind of losing its focus of why we were questing and adventuring and discovering in the first place. Nothing was kept a mystery. We already killed Illidan. We killed Arthas. We killed the bigwigs, basically. And part of the reason I'm going to Encourage is because, what was it? Cthulhu, man. Do you remember how crazy it was? Discovering, like, an old god or just seeing him for the first time. And there was, like, this huge... Phases. Remember when you killed Cthulhu, the Eye of Cthulhu? And then the body came out and there was phase 2? Now it just feels like one big fight, but different faces. And there's, again, nothing wrong with that, but it's not constructed to make you feel a certain type of way. I feel like there were certain raids that kind of did better. My favorite raids, or my favorite raid, I should say, because there was one that really demonstrated what Blizzard can do, was Karazhan. Or not Karazhan, or, yeah, Karazhan? It was the BC one, but like with the castle and all that, I think it was Karazhan. So yeah, Karazhan. That raid alone demonstrated what WoW can do with raiding. Now there's 4 of them. Looking for raid, you can grind gear off of that. Normal, you can grind gear off of that. Heroic, grind. Mythic, you already know. Mythic might be a little harder, but honestly, it's not as difficult because at that point, you can look up guides and you already have the gear. When you did raids back in the day, that's it. You needed the perfect gear off the bat. Raids took forever. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be on dungeons, which are really easy, but then raids, and it was like, holy God. Huge deal. Huge deal. And kudos if you made it into a raid. Now it's just kind of like you click a button, you're there, and then that's it. So, at this point, everyone's probably wondering, okay, Spy, you're all over the place as usual, but we love you. But what does this have to do with what you're talking about? It's because lately, again, the video and then different streamers of WoW, whatever like that, talking about it. JonTron made a video about it, about Nostalrias. And let me say this much. If there is one thing that I have to say about Nostalrias, is that I regret not playing on there. I truly regret not being able to play on that server because I never even heard of those guys at all. Like, I know there was like private servers, but it just was like, private servers, a little dodgy. But these guys, from what I hear, they were garnishing people. They were getting people, and it was the old WoW, and then this whole thing, and it's just this fantastic everything. And I, again, really, really regret having to not be a part of that, man. Now there's this lawsuit thing going on, and, people are pissed about that. There was a dude at a game convention. I'll post the video about JonTron talking about that. So, and then you'll see in part of his clip that there was a guy who actually stood up and was like, yo, can we get legacy servers? And the dudes over at Blizzard, no. You don't know what you want. You think you do. And I thought about that. I'm like, so you're telling me that you have people who are willing to pay, and I swear to God they would pay more money to play this World of Warcraft vanilla than anything, and Blizzard just said no. WoW just said, no, we're gonna just stay on schedule. And it really kind of bothered me, because it's like, why? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Because here's the thing, okay? I get it. Blizzard kind of has an ego. And yes, Blizzard, you do. Don't act like you don't, because you do. Trying to say, oh, well, our game is fine. I mean, you guys think you want this, but you don't. And I don't get that, because you have an opportunity to just listen to a fan base, because why would anybody ask for something that is older? That makes no sense. That's like asking for, like, older Call of Duty or older fighting games or whatever, when really newer games should improve. But instead of saying, well, why are you wanting something older when our newer content does that? Instead, they just were flat out no, they were rude, and just, what the hell? And then the more I thought about it, I'm just like, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get why people are so fired up about this, and so am I. And look, this isn't to say to people that World of Warcraft right now is bad. It's not bad. It really is not a bad game. But what it is not what it once was. And I've been seeing people posting videos about this, about wanting legacy servers, and oh, that we should have this and whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of dislikes and shit. People, we're not saying WoW right now is bad. It's not bad, but you cannot, I repeat, you cannot tell me that this newer expansions and all that was better than the vanilla. I refuse to believe you thinking that, because it's not true. You have your opinion, but your opinion's wrong, man. And you know what? I get it. It might come from people that came into newer WoW. To them, I say this. You have not seen anything yet until you experience the predecessor of this game. It was great. I mean, it felt like an actual journey and quest and, you know, the sense of community and shit. It was dope, dude. I wanted to play WoW so bad. And I always did. And it took a while. And that's fine. But I don't know, man. People get really defensive about WoW when we talk about it. Because they're like, oh, I don't want you changing my game. But, guys, the game was always meant to be sort of hard. Look at this part with the bug up there. You're supposed to have ranged DPS. You're supposed to. That's kind of how the mechanic worked at one point. There were mechanics that were super specific on what you needed. That was great. And that's not to say no other class can be a part of it. I liked how they tried to include others. But why? What for? And then you look at the manuals that you learned abilities. I never knew that. I forgot about that. When I did this run through, my brain practically like shot out of my fucking eyeballs, man. Like, it was just like, whoa. Oh my God, do you remember that? Like, in order to get certain abilities, you had to raid, which gave you far more motivation to raid. It was great. But with this new WoW stuff, it's not the same. It really is not the same at all. It's not what it once was. And I think the idea of creating a legacy server is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And Blizzard, you know what, frankly, you know, why? Why not? What would you possibly lose in that scenario? What would you lose? Why not do it? I mean, what's the harm? Maybe create one legacy server and see where it goes. You might get more sub bases because of that. You might get more subscribers. You might get more people involved, and then them telling about that. Try it. Try creating a legacy server, and maybe, just maybe, things might turn out for you. And WoW can be brought back. And you know what you could do, which is a huge benefit to World of Warcraft? You create the legacy server, and you can also make the new expansion along with it, right? So, oh, you only can go up to level 60 in this server and blah, blah, blah. And kind of beta test it. See where it goes. See where the successes are happening in the legacy. And then bring that to the newer content. And I guarantee at that point, people would just... they'd go for it, man. I just can't understand with what Blizzard's doing, man, because WoW was huge in my life at one point, because what made me play was the Leroy Jenkins video, the Internet's for Porn video. I mean, those were so cool. Those motivate me to play this game. It's like, wow, look how cool and how much fun they're having, and it's this game that was just inconceivable, but now it's just sort of like, And I'm not here to critique the game, but all I'm going to say is this. The gameplay has really suffered and lacked, and it has been for a while. The storytelling, I mean, there's nothing, like, wrong with it, but, like, the fact, say, like, Garrosh is the bad guy. What the fuck for? The storytelling's kind of weak a little bit. It is kind of weak. I'm not going to even try to deny that for a second. It's pretty weak. PvP, oh my God, dude, the PvP... You know, and I used to think that the PvP of things that go on in there are just so broken and just not balanced yet, but you look at vanilla and it was balanced in a sense, because to each his own. Their own class meant own counters or something, or if you did kind of go over your disadvantage over a class, it meant you had skill, that you were really good. So... oh man, this has been going on for nearly 20 minutes and I really didn't want to just sit and talk about this all this time. But, I don't know, let me know in the comments what you guys think about World of Warcraft, because for me, man, this shit's emotional. And I pray to God at some point that they do consider a legacy server. Because I know a lot of people that have told me, if they do a vanilla WoW, they're gonna play. And I swear to God, dude, you can literally... ask each person that I may recommend to you. So if you are like, oh, who asked you? And I'll tell you all the people that have come to me about it. And I told them that if they pick up vanilla WoW, they are playing with me. No denying. And you know, this kind of rebirth of WoW. Let it happen, man. I mean, Blizzard, your move. I mean, you could choose to just stick to your guns and think, no. You think you want that, but you don't. Or you can just kind of just not be that way and do it. Because what else do you have to lose? Let's face it. Let's be blunt here. Blizzard, you're losing numbers. Okay? You're refusing to give out your sub count. You refuse to give that off. Because nobody wants to see the decline. We're not stupid, okay? Just give it a chance, okay? Just give it a chance, let it happen, and I guarantee you something's gonna happen. And if anything, it will demonstrate that Blizzard is just, like, that's it. They are just the most ultimate creators if they do something like that. Because what's gonna end up happening is that they'll have that, people come back, new and old, and then you have your information. Oh, wow, I wonder why people are coming back. We should probably include this in the game. We should probably polish on this. And then there you go. And then your game is set perfectly. Set perfectly. Bring back WoW. Hashtag bring back WoW. Please. I mean, I love, like, Counter-Strike and League of Legends and all that, like the next thing. But it's not the same as World of Warcraft. WoW and I had this, like, connection that when I built my character, there was a sense of importance. That it was hard, but you earned it. There was a sense of achievement you felt. So, let's make it our mission, guys. So I know I said I'd have it in the video, whatever like that, with all the references and links and stuff. So I'll put that all down in the description, actually, because I'd rather just this be a one and done than not have to worry about that. So ultimately, guys, that's my opinion on WoW. I mean, it's a game, it's a fun game nowadays, but it's not the same. It's not the World of Warcraft that we all once knew, because let's face it, you're in your garrison, you hit a button, and that's it. It's the same bland, repeated crap that nobody wants. Nobody wants that. You think we do, but we don't. See what I did there? Kind of sounds like a dick thing to say, huh? Well, Blizzard, that's what I'm saying. You don't know what we want. You don't know. So just try. Because if you don't like it, shut down the server. And then no one can say boo about it. Oh, we tried, but you guys were wrong. And that's it. We'd have to roll with it. But chances are, Blizzard, chances are, we are going to get people. We're going to get people. Our sub base is going to come back. And we're going to have the World of Warcraft we deserve to have. Okay, so this video has gone way past. Like, I was kind of hoping this would be a 10-minute thing, but instead it went to like 23 minutes of shit. Alright, my name is Spidevil. If you like what you saw, you know what to do. Let yourself be heard. We will have our World of Warcraft back. Because if they don't, well, WoW can always just fizzle out. And they're already on that warpath. Legion's gonna come out, but if Legion isn't up to scratch, they're done. Then you've set a standard like Call of Duty has, where it's just the samey old thing. So, your move, Blizzard. Your move.